I just found the best channel on YouTube. It's called Trees, I think, and it's like all things psychology and narcissistic abuse, CPTSD. I just watched some really good It's just really good, well researched little uh, kind of animated documentaries on like all things psychology, and it's fantastic. And I just watched one on malignant shame, and then on like narcissistic mind games, like the it's called a double bind theory, where it's like they just keep you in uh, no win cycles. Like, and then I got to thinking, my mom used to do this to me. She did it on a damn daily basis. It would make you insane. She would, okay, so she would like nitpick, and get in there and just, just like repeat something over and over to get you to do it. Don't forget, you've got to do this. You've got to do this. And like, for an example, because she did it with everything. Like she did it when this stuff happened with the school, and she wanted me to get my kid out of school. So she would browbeat me until I called, and I did, and I pulled the kid out, and then she would browbeat me to get everything together to um, fill out all the paperwork for homeschool. So I do all that, and I was so sick while I was doing it all too, like so sick I couldn't even hold my head up. And she just browbeat. Why haven't you done this yet? Can't you do? You're so stupid. Why can't you? You're the one that wanted to do this. Well, technically, she was the one that wanted to do it, and she would browbeat me until it not only convinced her, as she was saying it, it convinced me that, oh yeah, well, all of these things were my choice, but nothing was ever my choice. It was hers, and I just had to do it and play along with it, and then take the consequences of the action, right? So, so she would browbeat me, and I wanted to. I was pissed off at the same time. Everything was happening, but she got it in her head that this was how things were going to be done. So she would force me to do things the way she wanted me to do them, and then I wouldn't do them right according to her, even though I was doing it. Like I would say, hey, I can't finish this paperwork until I have all of your financial information because I live here with you in your house. So technically, according to the state's laws, they need the full income of everyone in the home. No, they don't. They don't need mine. They need yours. I said, well, Mom, since I don't have any of that stuff, I mean, it's not like I'm allowed to use any of my my own that I applied for benefits. Uh, you have all that information from me, so I beg her for it, and she wouldn't give it to me. They don't need that. They don't need to get in my stuff. They don't need my financial records. They need yours. And I'd explain, I don't have anything because you have control over everything. I just live in this house. You're the one that wants full control of everything. So this is the consequences you have to give your no. So we would fight, and she would bitch and browbeat, wake me up out of a sound sleep to tell me I needed to do it, and I'd explain to her again, hey, I can't do it without your, and then, no, you don't. You don't need that. Well, there was one night she did it all night. And then I got up, and I tried to get everything together. And once again, I went in and I was like, hey, I need this in order to do this. Or I got a better idea. Why don't we enroll in this school right over here? And we'll just see what the tuition is. That way it's covered, and I don't get in trouble. And she looked at me and she goes, I have to leave. I have to leave town and go to Missouri. You've made your bed, now lie in it. So, okay. So then again, here we are. I don't have any of the, I don't have, it's, so I can't do. But to the outside world, it looks like, well, you're an adult. You should have all of you should be able to do this. And I have to take the consequences. But in reality, she had control of everything. My money, my time. I wasn't. I had to account for every dime that I was. Oh, she did this with the car too. Whenever I had the car, because at that point I was so sick I couldn't work, so I'd been filing for disability for that and uh, throwing flea markets and things and trying. But again, she had control of everything. So when I needed anything, I would ask her, and she would give me like $10 in gas money, and she knew that there was a leak in the truck. It had a gas leak, and it was leaking gas, and they couldn't keep it full. So she had me sign up for AAA, so AAA could help. AAA will come 3 times to help you, and then after that, you have to pay or fix whatever's wrong with the car. The car wasn't mine; it was her name. I wasn't allowed to do anything except put gas in it. I wasn't allowed to do anything to any of the cars. Uh, so I would, I mean, I would barely make it to the grocery store, and then I'd run out of gas, so I'd have to call AAA to come get me. They'll only come 3 times, and it'll be an all-day thing. And she knew that this would happen. She would only give me a certain amount, and I'd say, "Hey, look, there's a gas leak. I need this. I need this if you want," because I'd want to run errands for her too. And it's like, if you want me to get this done, then I'm going to need this amount in order to get that accomplished because there's this factor, and this factor going up against this. They don't hear anything you say because you're a fucking idiot. And how could you possibly know when they are superior in every way and they're fucking with you? So I break down. I run out of gas. Me and my kid be stranded on the side of the road. I call AAA. I say, "This is the problem." It would take hours. I call her. I say, "Hey, can you? Well, why didn't you get enough? You had plenty of. I gave you. Why didn't you do?" I did, but that wasn't enough. And right before I left, I told you that I would need such and such amount because I had to do this for you. I had to do this for you, and I had to do this. So that's what I did. I did what you told me to do, and now I'm stuck here and I need your help. I'm not helping you. You're on your own. But you put me in this situation because I followed your directions. That's not my problem. Well, really, it is. It's you have a very serious fucking problem. But that's the thing; they don't see that, and They're enjoying your suffering. They're enjoying your struggle, and it. I mean, there were times when I'd be sitting there crying, and I'd be crying, just like begging her for for love or understanding. It'd just be, I'm like, "Why are you like this?" And I'd look up at her, and she'd be glaring, but almost have a smirk, like she was enjoying it, and then her face would change once she noticed that I saw her. And I've seen this happen a million times with lots of different narcissists. There's this thing, the enjoyment you can see, and it's just a flash. And when they see you notice it, it goes back to like whatever mask they put on. But she would do this all the time to me. She enjoyed it, and she would do something, and I'd catch her do it. Like one time I went to a flea market where she had set up for years. This and something similar to this happened the other day because it's like a repeating pattern with me that I'm learning, working on what is the root of it, and we're plucking that the fuck out of me and throwing it away because I'm tired of this kind of behavior from people. It's ridiculous, and it's I don't have the time for it. I don't fucking care. Like what your fucking deal is because I already dealt with it with my mom. I'm not doing it, but I needed to make some money because that's I'm very ambitious, even with like a broken body. I'll figure something out, or the universe will provide it, whatever. But I'm not, I am not at all the what people will say that I am. Like their own like perceptions of me are like totally wrong. Especially I don't know, whatever. But that's fine. It's not my place to correct other people. It's their place to work on their shit, and they don't seem to want to either. Uh, I'd been setting up like yard sales, and it was like $20 or something set up at this flea market, and she told me all about it. She told me to go, that she had talked to somebody, blah blah blah. So I went down there. Now I knew a lot of the people that she was friends with there because she'd been there for years before she had to retire. And we set up, me and my kid up, and we saw one of her friends in her wheelchair sitting at the door staring at us because we, we've met him before. We've met these people before many times. That's what's so fucking weird about the whole group shaming thing. Like, we have eyeballs. We could see y'all doing this. What the hell? It's like the Twilight Zone is so weird. And that codependency, the narcissistic, oh my god, all of that's very, very weird. But we're sitting there, and I see this lady, Carolyn. I know her. You know, I've been to her house. I know her kids. She's sitting there staring at us. She picks up her phone and starts talking on the phone. Who's she gonna call? She gonna call my mama, of course. I'm not an idiot. All right, so I'm sitting there, and she picks up the phone. She starts talking on the phone. She hangs it up. She goes back in. Never says anything to me. None of these people who, but they knew me and my mom were breaking up. They knew, that our relationship was in the end stages. And so then I see another one of her guy friends walk by. He's got his phone like walking like this. It's the dumbest fucking thing. I could see you. I could see you filming, and he was walking by filming. I was like, well, I told my kid, there's, and I know all the names too. So I said, there's so and so. He's filming. And then I see this other lady that I did not know. I had not met her before. But she walks over and kind of stands at the corner of the booth, and she gets out her phone and puts it on speakerphone, and she calls somebody. Who does she call? She calls my mama. And my mama had a very distinct voice, and it was very uh, gravelly and manly. Like, people used to always say "sir" on the phone with her, and she gets so angry. And it was her, and I could hear it. What are they doing? Which booth are they setting up? What do they have? Do they have anything in mind? It was my mother's voice, and I heard her. And this lady is standing at the corner of her booth looking at me, just standing there like mean mugging me, and she's talking on the phone to my mother. And I just, okay, so then like 3 or 4 more of her friends do this weird shit. Like, they're intimidating or something. I don't know. It's really strange. It's like, what are you doing? And then one of her witch friends, who she introduced me to and took me to her house, and we did a reading. The lady was really nice. I don't know what the deal was, but you did not. None of y'all knew all of them. At least you didn't. You knew a different version of her, unfortunately. You knew a different. I wish I got to know that version that everybody else got to know. It might have been a different experience for me. But this witch lady walks over to some of my stuff, and she does this spitting thing on my shit. I'm like, well, now it's not going to sell. Fuck you guys. So we packed up our shit, and we left. The next day, I went over to my mom's house, and I confronted her. What the hell was all of that? I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't know you were going there. Mom, you sure as fuck did. I had told you a couple of days before that I was going, that I thought about going. I didn't tell you that I was going, but I told you that I thought about going, and you told me all the details on how to set up the booth and pay for it and everything, and who to talk to. So you knew, and I heard your voice on the phone. No, you didn't. I didn't call anybody. I didn't know you were there. I said, you didn't talk to Carol. No, you didn't talk to some lady that was selling hats. No. So I explained every single detail of everything that happened, and she looked me right in the eyes, dead in the eyes, and told me none of it happened. I didn't go back there, and I never would again, because That's the thing. It's a game, and it's a lose-lose game because they've already plotted out how they're gonna fuck you, and then they're gonna tell you that they didn't fuck you and make you feel fucking crazy about it. Something similar happened the other day, and I don't have time for it. I don't care about how anybody feels about how I conduct my life because you haven't lived it, you know? And if your lived experience of your pain and your struggle or sadness or whatever your upbringing was like that causes you to do those types of things to other people, it is not the person you're doing it to's responsibility to cater to your feelings about how you're treated. And the fact that you're, and I've done it, I have been that person that, I mean, there were years where I fell for it with my mother and she could do no wrong, and I was her little, flying monkey, or other people's flying monkeys, because that's what I was raised with. That's the dynamic that I understood and knew what my part was in. So that's, that's just what you that's just what you do. But once you recognize it, once you see it for what it is, and see that it's a very, very damaged person, that's deflecting and is projecting, and it's their fucking problem because they don't know or like themselves enough to do the work, or they're not self-aware enough to see the harm and damage they're causing. And the shame that you care for I don't know, putting up with it so long, or not recognizing it before, or the things you had to do or you did in order to survive it. It's a lot to carry. Like, the first step is recognizing and saying, "Hey," and that was the beginning of the end, and that was right before I left, because between all the shit that they were putting me through, all of the medical gaslighting, and the doctors while I was struggling physically, not just mentally, but physically sick, while doing all of these things, public shame, fucking narcissistic abuse at home, illness, all of it. And then somewhere, I don't know, because everybody can shame me all they want, but there is some sort of strength inside of me that I have to give credit to, because I don't know another fucking person who could have survived all of that with all the factors that were involved. I mean, the physical illness alone. While that was happening, I was bleeding for like months. I did just like all of these things, and to take on the weight of all of that shame and ridicule from people who were doing the damage in the first place, who were actually causing the pain and the hurt in the first place, and realizing that the majority of people are so just tools in how we're treating each other. But I'm not gonna carry. I'm not playing these games because these never-win games, these scenarios that are set up to purposely fuck you and to make you feel insane. It's not. I'm just glad all of this is now finally surfacing, and we have the vernacular for it. But at the same time, these people can also, because my mom started towards the end, using it to weaponize. You're the narcissist. I think we all have narcissistic tendencies. Absolutely. And I think there is a healthy amount of selfishness that one should carry with them and should love themselves. Not the conceited, not the Kardashian type of love themselves, because that's a lot of disguised shame there, absolutely. But I'm talking about healthy confidence, healthy love for yourself, taking care of yourself. Self-care shouldn't be something that people are shamed for. But yeah, I don't know. It's a good channel though. Please check it out if you have some time. But yeah, that was a lot of just watching those videos. There's some real realizations that hit. And when you know better, you do. You do better. But you also cannot keep attracting and surrounding yourself with these type of archetypes because they're comfortable. Because there's nothing fucking comfortable about it. Maybe for them. Because they're getting their dopamine hit with their little games. And they're deflecting their shame so they don't have to look at themselves. And they can instead put the microscope on you and what you're doing wrong. But if it's a no-win situation, then you can't do anything right. And I never could. So that's something I have to work on, is that constant voice in my head, that internalized shame of never being good enough, no matter what I did. I'm working so hard and trying so hard, only to realize that I was being set up for failure. And only a fraction of that should I actually be feeling any kind of shame for it. And that in itself, realizing that the majority of the things that I've been programmed to believe are my fault are actually my fault, and that I can forgive myself. Oh, wow. Alright, well, that was a long Monday. Happy Monday. It's just another Monday.